Jambo and Sawadika. I am no longer in Africa. I have come to Bangkok, Thailand. I have to say I am officially homeless. I have sold my home and I am now a true resident of planet Earth. A digital nomad that has found his way to Tao Wesuan. Tao Wesuan is the benevolent deity known as the king of ghosts and demons and the guardian of the north. He protects against evil spirits, black magic, and malevolent influences. He is one of the 4 heavenly kings who guard the 4 cardinal directions, with his area being the north. He is a powerful deity of wealth, prosperity, and abundance. He is considered the leader of ghosts, demons, and giants, Lord of the supernatural. And here I have a black cat that has just come to visit me in time for new moon in Scorpio, conjunct Mercury to the exact degree of the 29th degree. Yes, it's 28 degrees, 12 minutes or something, right? You know, that is the 29th degree of Scorpio. Anything plus the 29th is the 30th and last degree of Scorpio. Yeah. So we are here at the 29th. I will read you the Sabian symbol. And we have black moon Lilith, as you can see from the chart, right 1 degree away. This is a stellium, a very powerful new moon at the very closing stages of Scorpio. And it sets the tone. This sows the seed of a whole new cycle. And it's a very beautiful cycle. So I want to talk to you about, how can I say, I've been in Africa. It is the land of extremes. Extremely beautiful and extremely ugly. Extremely rich and extremely poor, extremely clean and natural, extremely dirty and full of litter. It is really stands out in my experience as a continent, yes, that is, it exemplifies, it's even in the shape of a heart. I so feel that Africa is the heart of planet Earth. And that heart of planet Earth is wounded. And it goes far, far, far back. We can say it's colonialism, but we can go even farther back than colonialism. Where I stayed in Maturuni village, it was customary to get a guide. Yes, to pay a guide to go for a walk, to take you through the village. We is to pay a guide to take us to those waterfalls that I took, a video of at the beginning, right? And this part of that is an old tradition that everyone gives something to the chief of the village. And there's over 80 tribes just in Tanzania, right? And just consider everything that is, going on. But before times, ancient times, before the white people came, before the Europeans came and colonized, okay, all the different countries in Africa, there were chiefs. And we can go to India, we can even come to Thailand, Indonesia, the United States, American Indians, go anywhere, go to Norse mythology. Go over to China and the dynasties. This idea of an external authority that we pay homage to, whether it is a king, a chieftain, a president, a lord, there is just this hierarchical, very old paradigm of each of us not being our own authority. Yes, so it is actually Capricorn and Saturn. And the patriarchy was found in the sub-age of Capricorn 9,500 years ago, 6,500 years ago. Yeah. In the age of Cancer, with the sub-age of Capricorn, that was the birth of the patriarchy. But it extends and extends and extends. And all I can say is that Capricorn energy does need to be balanced with the Cancer energy. And that Cancer energy is one where Jupiter is now in the sign of Cancer, right? And, you know, we have the nodes of Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto all in the Cancer-Capricorn axis right now, the planetary nodes. And this is a very, very important time period. It's a turning point. And it's very special that we have this grand trine happening now in the water signs. And I want to talk to you a lot about that because, you know, to give you a sense of the possibility of what is happening here. First, I want to finish up and I want to complete with this sense that it is really up to the father and the mother to care for the children. It is up to the king and the queen to care for their village, for their country. Yes, it is up to the leaders, the elders, to really protect, give a sense of safety, help all of the children, all of the village, all of the country to really be nourished, safe, held, and content. And that has not been happening anywhere, I have to say. I say in Bhutan, they love the king and the queen. Here in Thailand, I think very many people love the king and the queen. There are some very few handfuls, yes, of nations that are really, in Tanzania, they used to love the king until he was mysteriously died, and now this dictator has taken over. And the people are all in a state of wonder and shock that there could actually be violence and people dying in the streets after this so-called election. But I don't want to get too political because what this really is about and what I want to bring to you today is the inner path, the inner journey. And last week I talked a lot about the outside and what it appears like from the outside, and how we have smiling faces on the poor children, and how we have this war and battles all over the world, and it's all this out. But really, what we want to really focus on, and I want to bring to you today, is the inner path, the inner journey. The outside is the masculine action, conquering, seeking comfort, a sense of meaning and purpose and power, okay, from dominating and mastering the outside world. And then we have the feminine path. We have this inner path. And this, to me, is so much what the Eastern way is about. We could say the Western is very, more along the outer masculine materialism. The Eastern ways and the Eastern path of Hinduism is about the sitting Buddha going into silence. And it really even speaks to a little bit about, this is going to be such a long paleo report, because I got this whole thing that I want to share with you that kind of came to me this morning. But I have to read to you first the Sabian symbol for the 29th degree of Scorpio. An Indian squaw pleading to the chief for the lives of her children. Keynote: love as a principle of redemption. Here the soul is presented. The soul, the inner soul, is presented as a mother whose sons, her active energies, right? The masculine principle, Mars, co-ruler of Scorpio, have become disruptive forces in the collective life of the tribe. She seeks to counteract the karma of their misdeeds through her love and implorations. The soul is responsive to the experience of unity, in quotes, the spiritual king or chief. But the energies of human nature often follow their self-seeking, divisive tendencies. In this symbol, it presents us with the value of prayer, the principle of wholeness in the human. The soul acts to offset or attenuate the dictates of karma. In a religious sense, Mary, the mother, is seen as the mediatrix in constant acts of intercession for the sake of waylaid individuals. So, we really want to look at this polarity and understand we live in a world of polarity, right? We learn through counterpoint awareness. We evolve through coming to balance of these opposites, of these extremes, right? And we do that through Libra and into Scorpio. But what I really want to point out is that Scorpio is both about the eagle and about the snake. It is about mastery and it is about annihilation and destruction. It's got both in it, death and rebirth. It is the path of Chiron, who descended into the underworld and rose again to be thrown out into the stars as the constellation of the Centaur, right? It has to do with Osiris. It has to do with Dionysus. It has to do with Jesus. There are so many mythologies and mythological characters that do this descent into the underworld. Inanna, the goddess of love and beauty, arose as the queen of heaven only after the death and letting go of that lower, instinctive, waylaid kind of teenager, this wild self, to be reborn into Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Yes, to this transpersonal keeper of wisdom. So, what is the determining factor? And here's what came to me this morning. We have to go back to the beginning. Whether it is childhood, whether it is spring, okay, whether it is birth. We go back to Aries. We go back to this beginning where a spark out of the infinite potential of Pisces, a new spark, a new individual, right? A new soul incarnates and stands, okay, and just exists. I am Aries. And then we move, and we need to evolve out of this just being into earthly Taurus. And here we come into a stage of survival, food, clothing, shelter, money, right? And each one of these is a stage. We need to survive. And many people around planet Earth are just trying to survive, and they just want your money, and they just want to eat, right? And have a place to sleep in shelter. If and when this is achieved, we go into Gemini. And Gemini then sees the neighborhood, sees that I am not just a flower, but I am in a garden of flowers. I am in a field of flowers. There's more than just me. And there's that curiosity, right? And that airy quality of wanting to relate, okay? And so there is this coming out, this masculine quality of spreading out, of learning. And then that needs to lead into, oh my goodness, there's differences, okay? I'm not the only one. Maybe there's a shortage. Maybe somebody's going to hurt me. So we move into Cancer. And here we need emotional safety, emotional security. We need to feel safe and protected from these all these different people and places and qualities and cultures. And I need to find my home and my sense of belonging. If and when this is achieved, we have to move into Leo, and we have to find, and we have to express, we have to create out of our own power and our own self, the king, the queen, the lion, the lioness. We have to center ourselves like the sun is the center of the solar system. And we have to find our individual specialness. And we have to let it out, whether through children or business or painting or music. We have to, we discover our power, our beauty, our joy, our enthusiasm. We have to fully embrace Leo. And then we have to move on into the school of Virgo. And Virgo then is a humbling of the self. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's not just that I am a star shining. There is a galaxy of stars. And I have to integrate. I have to serve. I have to work. I have to give something. So we are not minerals, plants, animals. We are humans. And our human evolution, okay, involves this interaction and going beyond ego, going beyond self. And so Virgo is this humbling. And not only humbling, but then also discriminating, discerning, choosing carefully, separating what is best going to reflect me, what is best going to balance me, what is best going to, where is my best partnership, where's my best channel, my best pathway forward. I need to weed through, right? And not plant my seed in gravel, but plant my seed in good soil. Yeah? And so the opposition is this huge, big turning point, right? Where we come out of self-development and realize that our future evolution involves and comes through relationship to something social, something beyond the self. We can't have a family by ourselves. The egg needs a sperm. The sperm needs an egg. This is very, very profound. Yes? And it is a big teaching. And speaking of teachers, we have teachers coming through the temple. We are all each other's teachers. And it's good that I can even do this without getting busted. Anyway, where was I, man? So, that our evolution involves transcending, going beyond, coming outside of our own world and our own Leonian, Aryan self. And if we succeed in all of these, we move into Libra. Oh, I did want to mention, here's technology, right? So now no longer does, right, a woman need a man, we can, do the Petri dish. So technology is actually enabling us to like not go for this. A guy can have children, I suppose, like without a woman can have children without a man. So it's technology is changing the whole picture. But in the natural world, we're going to say, we move into the Scorpio. And we've had the sun moving through Scorpio for almost a month now. Okay, and we've had Mercury going through Scorpio, and it went into Sag and came back with some deeper wisdom. Mars moved through Scorpio. Venus is now in Scorpio. Mercury is coming back to Venus. Okay, that's another very powerful one happening at 22 degrees 44 minutes. We have a Mercury-Venus conjunction in Scorpio. So here we are in the underworld, this destroyer, but also prosperity, right? The god of wealth, Pluto, diamonds, gold, silver, emeralds, riches, tanzanite. So what is the Scorpio? This is where it is both conflict and union. Right? It can result in wars, in death, in destruction. Shiva, Kali, destroy. Ultimately, they can destroy our self. That is, that individual, I, me, my, Leo, Aries, that self, okay? And really result in a lot of destruction and destroy the sense of safety, the sense of survival, taking, robbing people of their money. There are so many wars. I mean, we met this guy on, in Dar es Salaam, from the Sudan. Oh my goodness. He says there's, 3 digits, more than 1,000 people a day dying in Sudan. The battle and the wars and the conflict over there. He says there are people that are no longer people. They're not even human. To be able to, decapitate babies, and just the amount of, evil and destruction that is happening. And I read this article of, the Falun Gong over there, and what the Chinese are doing, in sense of torture. And how these atrocities that can be perpetrated, and we can perpetrate on each other, on other people, is the darkest evil side of that Scorpio energy. But today I want to bring forward, and you can see that the mantra here is the other polarity, right? The other extreme, the beauty, the birth. Yes, when the sperm hits the egg, it loses its identity. The egg loses its identity, but what comes out of that loss is a new life. Yes, when 2 corporations, Apple and Microsoft, merge, whatever, right? Think of 2 banks merging, 2 businesses merging. Okay, these very powerful mergers. What comes out of it? A greater corporation. Just say Israel and Palestine could merge. There would come out of it a greater union. Think of if all the countries on planet Earth could merge into one, how amazing planet Earth could be. So you get this sense, right? Jupiter in Sagittarius can be the result of a surrendering. Yes, a real coming together, a merging, a uniting of our sexual energy, of our emotional energy, of our creative energy, of our mental energy, co-authoring a book that neither one could author without the other, gives even a greater book. You get this sense where Scorpio can also result in this tremendous mastering of power, provided, and here's another key word for Scorpio, Trust. Trust. Scorpios have a hard time trusting. Hard time being vulnerable. It's hard for all of us to surrender our Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Leo self. Yes? And not knowing what lies beyond the self. And here we just get this sense. And what's going to come out of this new moon, this next month, the sun will move into Sag. Today, the moon moves into Sag. Venus will be coming out into Sagittarius. Mars is in Sagittarius now. And we have this sense of this grand trine, Jupiter in the sign of Cancer. Yes? Supporting us, nurturing us, holding us, giving us this sense of safety. And it's in this trine, okay, with Saturn and Neptune. Do I have enough time here? Here we go. I'll add a little more on here because Neptune is in its power. Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. It's going to swallow Saturn and spit Saturn out. In order to realize the dream, to enter the mystical realms of cosmic bliss, nirvana, samadhi, Saturn must give up its separation, its boundaries, its laws, its earthly rules, its third dimensional world of differentiation in order to return to wholeness. And here I want to wrap this all up to say, what have we done? Have we gone through all the stages necessary to succeed in Scorpio? And as a collective, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that we have done the masculine. We have done the Aries, the Gemini, the Leo, and the Libra. Fire and air, the masculine signs. Have we really done Taurus? Helped everyone to survive? Have we done Cancer, this feminine, mothering energy, right? Of nurturing and protecting and helping everyone feel safe? Have we really done our humble Virgo of serving one another? Have the kings and the queens and the presidents, really served their populations? So I will say that we come to Scorpio. We come to this time period in the evolution of humanity. We come to this age of Aquarius crippled, wounded. But the pathway is not out. The pathway is not further conquering, further masculine, further realizing, and fulfilling ourselves through exploitation and through manipulation and through conquering. Like our Sabian symbol today says, right? It is the feminine, the soul. In each of our inner worlds, we come. And the soul, the mother, the feminine, seeks intervention with the gods. Yes, with the cosmic, unearthly, mystical realms. The feminine needs to intercede for the misdeeds of her children, of us as human beings. We need to pray. We need to seek redemption. And through this redemption comes a healing of our wounds. And out of that healing comes trust and faith. And it gives us the willingness to surrender to intimacy, to be vulnerable, to get naked, to expose ourselves, to really enter the temple of sacred union and tantra with another, and to really go places where we could never go alone. So today's mantra is, it took some time to get us where we thought we wanted to go. But when we arrived, we realized that together we can do even more. Neptune gives us a dream. Saturn, Neptune, is that we really want to manifest this dream in this lifetime. And it drives us. Hopefully it spurs us on. It inspires us to be more. And that being more then inspires us to merge and unite with something even beyond our control, another Scorpio keyword. And through that magical, orgasmic, mystical union, we realize, oh my goodness, I thought I could just do this, but now that I have merged with you, we together can do that. Yeah, baby. You know what I'm talking about. I gotta say, it does make me think of my school of astrology, because I am. Yeah, you're gonna see a bunch of promotions I'm doing now for the school. Together. Okay, it's a mystery school. It's not just a school of astrology and intellectual. Learn all the facts and the numbers. It's actually a path. It's a path of soul awareness, right? And it starts in January, and you can join hundreds of other people, right? We can all get together. We can do this together. But that's just one example, right? And even community, Pluto and Aquarius. And we may find ourselves stepping out of the patriarchy, stepping out of society, stepping out of civilization, and creating little pods, little seed pods of communities that may birth a future new paradigm after this patriarchy destroys itself. It took some time to get us where we thought we wanted to go. But when we arrived, we realized that together we can do even more. May you get together. And the song for this week is Come Together. Right now over me. Shoop-a-doop-boom. Come together. Right now. Woo! Over me. Yeah, baby. Namaste. Aloha. So much love. Ow!